The Arabian Travel Market this year is incredibly important. 2021 is a year about really reigniting the travel industry back in and getting ourselves really ready for the new norms for traveling again. 2020 was a very different year. We went virtual with obviously the ATM, and this year is about bringing travel professionals together with travel professionals, buyers, and with the industry to really understand what products are out there, what new travel destinations that we can actually move to, and really just coming together to network to understand how do we really naturally move on from 2021 and beyond. For Emaar particularly, this is incredibly important. Why? Because last year we opened up a couple of new hotels, and we have a pipeline of projects over the next 2 years that is really going to set the industry alight. So really for us, it's very important to be able to connect with people and understand, because whilst we couldn't connect together apart from being virtual, we've done so much in this last couple of years as an industry, and it's about really making sure that everybody's aware about it this year. Dubai is incredibly safe as a destination. We are very fortunate to be in a part of the world where the leadership is very decisive, where people living here, the residents, tourists who visit our country, all very much believe in the leadership and follow the leadership. Last year was really about supporting frontliners and really working together. So if you remember back in April last year, right at the beginning of the pandemic, there was quite a aggressive and severe lockdown, and that really helped us. And it helped us very, very quickly come together to understand with the international best practices how we needed to move forward as a country. So we very quickly adapted to that, which I think is much faster than any other country you see worldwide. That enabled us to really look at how that we do introduce international tourism back into Dubai, enabling us to really open up very, very carefully at the early days. And if you remember from those early days, we really just opened up each areas of our business very slowly, just understanding how we could actually take the new norms, how we could put safe practices in place. So it was very, very carefully put together. It was very, very carefully followed, allowing us to reopen for business right up until the end of the year. Naturally, the government works very, very closely with all the organizations. Hotels are one example where hotels really worked very closely with the DTCM to understand the correct practices. That really made a big difference, and it enabled us to just very carefully open up. And then when we needed to, and if we saw numbers slightly increasing, then there was an opportunity just to slow things down a bit. And that's how we work so closely. So I couldn't wish to be in any other country in the world, for sure. The ability to be able to have our businesses open, but also work very carefully. Now, what did we do from a hospitality point in terms of Emaar? We worked very closely with the DTCM. We were recognized by them for our forward-thinking practices. We actually put in place a number of practices that really helped our guests and communicate to our guests exactly how we were navigating the pandemic. We worked very closely with a company called Boca, and Boca is a sanitization expert, very well known within the region, that enabled us to do sanitization practices within our rooms. That was number one importance, to really work with some key partners. Because of the works that we did, we got Bureau Veritas certification, number one. We also got a Dubai Assured certification, so that we really work closely with the governmental initiatives that were put in place. And how did that look and feel? Well, we had, sanitization gates at the hotels. We had temperature controls that weren't actually in the face of the customer, which were, they were built into our systems. We put a lot of support into technology. We made sure that everything was as much contactless as possible. We had all of our staff were in the gloves, the masks, the shields. So that was our physical viewing practice. All of our cutlery was sterilized and put into plastic in order to make sure that everything was very, very safe. So we looked at every single touch point in our guest journey, and we just worked with some very, very key partners that really helped us be at the forefront of looking after and keeping our guests very safe. Look at 2020. 2020 really pushed us into the technological era even faster than we expected. We were already working on our technology in order to check in online, in order to be able to communicate and chat to our guests in house. But because of the pandemic, it really made us move that much faster. So for us, we're seeing our guests getting very comfortable about connecting to us online. So we've got a lot of implementations already in place, but some more actually in the pipeline for this year. So we'll be able to connect to our guests via chat box. We'll be able to do those full online check-ins and to be able to actually open your room with your smartphone as well. But also our guests are asking for some of those basic things. They're expecting our teams to understand the safety protocols, to understand about health and safety, to be fully masked, to have the sanitization in place. People want to have more al fresco dining spaces. They're expecting that you have that menu online now. How often do you go to a restaurant now and you actually go and look for the barcode? So all of these are becoming part of our journey moving forward, and just really making sure that we have. And I think from a future perspective, sanitization, health and safety protocols will just be a part of life. And how many times do you use sanitizer now? Will that go away? I don't think so. I think that people are just going to expect that hotels incorporate these standards for a long-term perspective moving forward. And they want to be able to connect with us much more technologically in terms of our advancements. So technology is going to be a big part of everything that we do. Even from, having meetings online are going to continue, being able to talk to you in the hotel via your smartphone is just going to be part of the future for us. And so we're adapting to that in Emaar Hospitality. And we've done a lot of that work during the pandemic in 2020. And with that pipeline of technological advancements into 2021 are going to continue.